Let's get it!
Broadcasting to you from a little grass shack in the middle of the Pacific.
Live in the place to be.
Well, they're actually in the Bay Area.
Yes!
But they are the premier Pacifica show that shines a spotlight on positive Pacific Islanders.
You listening to the sound.
Role models coming brown every Thursday night at 6.
East to west, we getting hurt.
Brought to you by Pacifica by Design. It's the iconic Faika podcast with your hosts, Naki and Carl.
What's up, Naki?
What's up?
You ready?
Yes.
Are you ready before you take off again for San Diego?
Yeah.
Season 8, episode 12 of the FICA podcast. And today we're going to do our check-ins, and that is a host of community events, J2E, Wellness and Music with Felix Osawao. Did a great job last week. The Amu Blood Drive, Walking for Wellness, open mic at Fresh Off the Boat in Sacramento, and the Samoan language and culture classes put on by Puna Oleola in Stockton. And in the back half, we got Sistah T coming to us all the way from the South Bay in Los Angeles. I believe it's Harbor City down by Carson and that part of Southern California. So that's our show today. Naki, what you got?
Hey. Behind the Lava is checked in. Sistah T is checking in from Washington State.
Oh, I was reading her bio and it said Harbor City, but yeah,
that's where she grew up. Yeah,
Washington for a little bit. For
a while.
I knew she was in Seattle, but I was reading that and I was thinking, oh, maybe she moved back home because she was raised there.
Yeah, no. Behind the Lava is checked in. Good morning or good evening. Our vendor Sing Baines, thank you for tuning in. Man, we were so busy this weekend.
We had a lot going on.
Journey to Empowerment, which was held at Le Maota in Burlingame, Samoan Solutions Community Space. Journey to Empowerment is put on by Essence of Mana, ours, and it's every first Friday of every month. And so this past Friday was Wellness and Music with Felix Osawao. He did such a great job. Felix he works at Samoan Community Development Center, which they do a lot of great work up there.
Is he case manager?
Is a case manager. There you go. He's a case manager for SEDC. He did a great job at J2E. He spoke about wellness and how music helps, or how does music affect you, and he writes music, so it helps him with his wellness. And just sometimes when you listen to a song, it takes you back to a good memory or some time during your lifetime. So
he had some really good exercises. Sometimes, you always want to get the crowd involved, the attendees involved. So there's breakouts, and it's kind of the common thing. He did a fantastic job of really getting you to think about music and about what you were thinking about at these moments.
He did such a great job.
What music do you turn to for these reasons? So,
and then there was a lot of community leaders in the at Journey to Empowerment. Yvette Manumea, who is the program manager for
she's a somebody.
And then Karina, who is with Pacific Islanders Youth Alliance, PIYA. And then, there was tons of people there. Nani, who's with Asian American Recovery Services, Essence of Mana is her program. So
D-Boy from
Big Purr, Pacifica Urban Roots.
And there were some visitors in the house from Southern California.
Yes, from Southern California and Washington State, and just a lot of PIs. There was a lot of people there, so I was grateful to be there. Crazy amazing evening. And then we were there. The great food as always. What did you have? You brought your own food because you're on your own.
I am
food thing
buried in eating healthy.
Yes,
I'll talk about that a
good
little bit
for
later
you.
If I check in, because
and then so there was a lot of people there. And then what else? Journey to Empowerment.
That was Friday night.
That was Friday night.
Saturday.
And then Saturday morning We went to Walk for Wellness with Fatasi, Beffy, and Giselle, who are the program managers for Walk for Wellness, where you walk and they have a wellness question, and you walk for like 20 to 30 minutes and have a discussion. And there was a good 25 people there.
25.
Yeah, and it was a really good program. It's with Faltasi. So if you are in the Bay Area, go ahead and sign up with them. It's a really good program. They did stretching and walking, and Beffy and Giselle did a great job of hosting and facilitating and talking about wellness. And so they got really deep in conversation. So I love that.
It was nice to see the next generation leading the program.
Yes, I love that. And Mama Sil was there.
Only had to jump in one time, and I don't
calm down, sister.
She just needed to make sure things went right, and I get it, right? It's your program, it's your brand, so you want to make sure that it's in good hands. It was in good hands. I told Brother June when we were at Ipo's birthday the next day, I was like, you know what? They would have been fine if none of us were there.
Yeah,
that program would have ran just fine.
Yeah, it was a really good day. And then it was just a really good day. This week I worked. And my baby had softball. She's pitching. She's learning how to pitch. So this is her first year of pitching. What else? The Warriors have been winning, so they're back. They're in there. They barely made it, but they're in there.
They got to catch fire. They got to play better than they've been playing.
Yes, they're doing a great job. So I'm fingers crossed for the Warriors as long as Green stays
on the court.
Can't
get teed up so early in games.
But I think that's it. There's more that happened, but I'll let you go ahead and check in, and then we can get into Amu and other stuff.
Oh, okay. So that's what I was going to talk about was the Amu barbecue. But let's see. It's Thursday. We had our show last Thursday, and then Friday I was on a meeting at 6:30 in the morning, and that's kind of how I start off my Fridays at my job. And so that went about an hour, 6:30 to 7:30, and then at 8 o'clock I had another meeting. And right at 8 o'clock I had jumped on the meeting, and my boss's boss hit me up on Teams. So I know straight up at 8 o'clock, get a call from your boss's boss at the corporate office. There's something going on. It's not going to be chit chat or small talk. So I hopped on that call, and I got fired. Well, I don't know. I got fired. I didn't get fired. Let's settle that. Let's make sure that gets out there and hear that right. I got laid off because Naki doesn't like hearing the fired word. So,
because you didn't get fired, you got laid off.
I don't have a job.
Yeah.
So the first time in 32 years of continued employment, I think there was a small period of time before I went to Tower Records in 92 where I wasn't employed. So first time in 32 years, I am unemployed. It is so exciting to, I've been looking at some stuff for PBD.
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to focus on, what I want to do. I've been able to do a lot of things that I haven't done just in this first week. So in 1 week, I'm doing things I need to do, being able to focus on me. I am perfectly fine. I know there's some people that are like, what is going to do and this and that. This is just an exciting time in my life. So I've always lived by things happen for me, not to me. And this is just another one of those situations. So it's been kind of an odd week. I still wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and have a hard time sleeping in. But I've spent a lot of time at the dog park. I've been to the theater.
You don't even have a dog.
I do not have a dog. I go to the dog park because I don't have dogs, and I play with other people's dogs. And it only took a couple days of going there before people were like, hey, you don't have a dog. I'm like, yeah. So I explained it to them, and now I go in there and they're like, do you want to play with my dog, or do you want to talk to, I know some of the dogs' names. So yeah, I'm the weirdo that hangs out.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I think it'd be different if we're talking about kids, but man, people love, they love their dogs. And if you're a dog lover, usually you're accepted there. So I only got side-eyed about half the first day. I got so I've been hanging with that. And then Friday night, later that night, after that morning of getting laid off, I was at J2E spending it with, people I love. And good gosh, my phone continues to ring because people are looking for
you need to turn the ringer off.
Yeah, I've been applying for a lot of jobs.
Nice.
A whole bunch of jobs. So let's see. So Saturday we did that. Sunday we went to Ipo's birthday, and that was an amazing production. I had a really good time there. Got to meet some new people or spend some time with some people I haven't spent a lot of time with. Got to watch Mena work the room and do her photography magic, and I really laid eyes on her, and I was watching her get her angles and take her shots and reload her camera. I don't know if there's a battery change or what, but she was definitely doing her thing, and that was fun to see. But it was good to see Ipo so happy.
Epinesa Taylor, who works for the San Francisco Unified School District, turned 60. And then she had people from the school district and family and friends. And instead of celebrating her, she wanted to honor people that have made a big difference in her life and in her career. And so she honored the first principal she worked for was there. She honored people that told her to take the education path, and Tutu, who wasn't able to be there. But it was such a nice event. It was there was a lot of people there, but yet it was private. And so
really cool setting.
It was such a cool setting. It was a coffee house, but it looks like during the week they rent it out to office. It's like shared space where you can rent or sign up.
You can join a membership. You get a membership there, and then office out of there, and use their Wi-Fi. And they have events there. So, obviously, they have an event there because we were there on Sunday. But it's a really kind of a multi-purpose thing for the
it was community. Really nice. It was such a nice event. She looked amazing. Go on my social media, you can see pictures of her that day. And then of course the I Know crew was there, and everyone took the mic to talk about how much they appreciate her. A lot of people got on the mic. Her kids got on and spoke about her being a great mother and friends and sisters and sisters. And so it was a really great event. People came in from Utah, from LA, from all over the Bay Area to watch. I keep watching our phone. We've got like this whole new audience watching. That's why I'm like, what? So yeah. Anyway, welcome to the FICA broadcast. We're here in San Francisco, so thank you for tuning in. The Bay Area, actually, not really San Francisco. So it was a good event. We had such a good time. And then the night before, I went to we went to Walk for Wellness and the Amu Blood Drive, which was a huge success at SEDC. And they had some plant giving away thing across the street, another community event that was happening across the street.
It was soil. It was like they gave away soil.
Yeah, I used
plants and planters
and
fertilizer.
People were walking away with buckets of fertilizer and plants and I don't know, wood chips or whatever you call those things. And it was put on by the San Francisco Rec Center or Park and Rec. There you go. And it was packed. And so then that also drew people to the All My Usos blood drive, which was put on, of course, by Executive Director Christine Moya and her team, Tina and Jessica and Iz. And so they did such a great job. All their appointments were filled. So thank you to everybody that registered and showed up. And then we showed up to eat because they always have really good snacks. And Stanford brings their mobile blood mobile
taking thing, a big RV where they would go in there and they suck the blood out of your arm.
Yes. And so that was a really great event, successful. And then after that, I left to go to fresh off the Boat in Sacramento, where it's a Pacific Islander restaurant. They have all kinds of food, but a lot of their food is PI. And they had an open mic that was hosted. They hosted it fresh off the boat. And then their sponsor was Office of Samoan Affairs Sacramento. And we got to meet Megan and Pastor Pete. And then they had an artist there, Mila Strokes, who also had a showing at Samoan Solutions a couple of months back. So it was good to finally meet her because I couldn't make that show. TOFO, which is also a community organization that is out of Sacramento. It means, okay, Ta'utupu Oe Otu Felenite Association, which means Youth Leaders of the Pacific. And they've been around since 2000. And we spoke about how Sacramento has such a huge PI community, Pacific Islander community, and that not a lot they're starting to want to get resources out to the community and try to have events up in Sacramento. So it was good to meet some community leaders there. And so we're hoping to make more connections with them. And then, yeah, it was just a really great event. They had people perform, and then at the end, we all voted who was our top three. And this young man, Boston Rome, won. He did like this kind of, he rapped, but it was like poetry kind of. It was really good. It was very inspiring. And so it was just, there was a lot of great artists that were there. So I really enjoyed it. It was a great event. I'm looking forward to every month. They'll be having one every month at Fresh Off the Boat. And so Chef T was there. And who's related to my husband. So, and they just, Mo knew, and then they connected. And so I had no idea, but you know, when people say they're related, I'm like, yeah, but they really are related. So Fresh Off the Boat is a restaurant in Sacramento. Go check them out. Follow them on social media. They have a whole bunch of events happening. Tomorrow they have an event, but we'll talk about that during community announcements.
We did the Divide and Conquer thing that night. I was gone to, that was Saturday night. So you took off for Sacramento and I actually took off for Stockton to go be included and participate in Puna Oleola's Samoan language and culture class, which their graduation showcase is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at the Andrew Lutheran Church on Claremont in Stockton.
Nice.
And so those of you that have seen the classes kind of from afar, you can go see. If you're thinking about attending the classes, you can see what the kids have been doing. What track 2, there's 3 different tracks. One is more conversational Samoan, introducing yourself, telling what, you know, your parents' names and what village you're from. And then there's Sua. There are several Suas, and then there's an office ceremony as well. And so we go through what the different pieces of those ceremonies are and what that looks like. Nice.
And then what part are you in?
I'm doing the Fola Fola Sua.
Which means?
I'm going to announce the gifts that the group that I'm with is receiving. So you announce the gifts that you receive, not the gifts that you give. So I've got to pay attention to how much money is in the envelope and what is being given, and then announce that.
Nice. Very nice. And that's led by who?
That is led by the church. Puna Oleola is really, it's the Fa'aleava class.
Nice.
Pastor Tala Fa'aleava is leading track 3. Tai Fa'aleava, Dr. Tai Fa'aleava. Ulianga Sila is leading track 2, and then Faletua is leading track 1. So it's all led by Fa'aleava family.
Nice. And is this I know the answer, but I'm just asking you for people that haven't tuned in. it's a free class. It's a class that is paid for.
It's a class. It is $100. It's 8 weeks long. You are
What a bargain.
What a bargain, because I did an interview, and we're going to play the interview as we look into the second cohort later this year. But it's with a young man who's participated in just about every. He's been in the office ceremony. He's been the almanga, the taulele that stands behind the taupo. She throws
Mhm.
the sway. I'm not sure what it's called. Bad student, but he's been standing back there and not known exactly what, you've talked about that with the sua. You learn by get back here, not yet. Okay,
Yeah.
go now. Hold it higher.
Yeah.
He learned that way, but he didn't really know exactly what's going on. And when I interviewed him, he said it was really nice to understand what step is coming up, where
Mhm.
he's at, and why we're doing those
Nice.
steps. So I think that's one of the biggest pieces. Is most of the people, not most, but some of the people, especially in track 2,
Mhm.
have been very involved in the culture in their lives, but they don't really understand exactly, like, why do we do that? And,
Yeah.
we had talked about that, and when we went through these same classes at 2-6, like tapping the
Pusa.
on the ground, right?
Mhm.
Why do they tap it on the ground and then just walk off? You know what I
Right.
mean? Well, that's where it would go if it were, and actually the animal, it would go there, but to put it there is going to be in everybody's way.
Right.
So that was a piece where, in talking to some of my friends after that class, he was like, T in Utah, he's like, never knew why I did that. I mean, I knew why. I knew I did it,
Uh-huh.
and I knew where to do it, because I wasn't sure exactly why I did it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of those pieces of the culture that people who've been involved with it, in my conversation with them, they're like, just a
And
little bit more clarity.
Which track are you in?
I'm in track 2. So track 2
Nice.
is a lot of the announcing, call to eat, fola may I call, announcing to eat, and then following the food, announcing what food has been given.
Mhm.
Again, you're announcing gifts that you've received. And
Nice.
then fola sua. And track 2 is doing some of they're doing the items, which is the people who are carrying the items up for the sua. Those are people in track 2, but it's for track 3. That's the Ava ceremony is for track 3. That's what they're putting on.
Uh-huh.
It's just we're more the participants of that.
Uh,
So
uh,
everybody's involved in the evening. And I have to say that Faletua's track 1 is by far the most structured and well planned out. And she's a teacher. She's a
Yeah.
teacher at heart. So
well, she's also a woman, so
she's on time.
Yeah.
She's got her
She's
people lined up.
organized.
They're saying what they're supposed to say, when they're
Right.
supposed to say it. So yeah, no, it's been interesting to see, because what you and I went through, really, Pastor was the one leading the majority of the
Yeah.
instruction. So it's been interesting at this time around to see, he's leading track 3, of which I'm not really seeing at all.
right.
I'm seeing just track 2, but to see 3 people splitting it up and kind of taking different responsibilities is nice.
Nice. Awesome. Can't wait to hear about it next week. Is on. Hey, is just got
What's going
back
on,
from
Iz?
Jamaica.
Uh-huh.
So there you go. Should we get to community announcements, or we got time?
We got a little time. We can
Yeah.
talk a little bit about in the news today. I did not see it until I saw my Twitter alert come across, and O.J. Simpson has passed away. I know that there's a lot of people who are like, good.
Aw.
Most of
Anybody
the people
that
I
dies
think
is
are,
not good.
it's not good. I think that for those of you that were adults in the 90s, that's one of the most iconic images, is that car chase that wasn't really a chase.
He was
It
just going
more
slow.
he was just driving down the 405 at like 40 miles an hour. That's the image that you see up there. And this is before social media, right? So this is not like somebody said on Instagram, hey, OJ Simpson's on the 405.
Right.
This is a phone call that came in from a cell phone in 94. Cell phones were like probably 25 pounds, right? Somebody called in, and this was a phenomenon. I mean, it was what is that company? Domino's. It was Domino's biggest day in history, because nobody wanted to leave their TVs down south.
Oh,
Everybody
wow.
was glued to the TV, so they ordered pizza out, and Domino's had a huge day. The news, it was all over the news. You remember where you were when all this happened? Were you up north? Were you in 94, 1994?
I was here.
Okay.
I just don't.
So
I
all
don't
over
know.
the news. These pictures right here for probably 2 hours. I don't know how long the chase
That's
was.
crazy.
But that was that's one of the most iconic images of the 90s.
Yeah.
Like-
Orenthal James Simpson was an American football player, actor, and broadcaster. He's from the Bay Area. He went to Galileo High School.
Mhm.
He played the National Football League for 11 seasons, primarily with the Buffalo Bills. And
You don't want to claim him
a
because he played for the Niners.
did he really? For like a minute,
I
right?
think he finished his career with the Niners.
For a minute, yeah.
But
And
he was
then
the Bills. That's how everybody remembers
he was with
him.
the Bills. So he was 76 years old. He passed away of cancer. So, rest in peace.
I think
He's
everybody
infamous for the supposedly
has an opinion about Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron
Yeah.
Goldman were the two people that everybody believes that he killed. But I hope that, because when the Brown family sued him civilly, and I don't know that they ever got any of the money. Like, he had it all tied up somehow where they couldn't touch it. So
Yeah.
if there's money left, I hope the Brown family finally gets their hands on some of the money that they've won. They've won it in judgment. They just never got
Yeah.
it.
O.J. Simpson dies at 76 of cancer. I don't know what kind of cancer, but that's what his family says. So rest in peace,
He
Bay
was
Area
in jail
native.
for, I don't know if he was out. Was he out? But he was in jail for robbery. He got in trouble for like strong arm robbery in Vegas or Reno. I can't remember which, but he ended up going to jail for that instead of murder. Right? He ended up going to jail for something really stupid.
Yeah, poor guy.
I don't know if he was a spokesman for Hertz. Do you remember him? Remember those
I
commercials running through the
don't.
airport? He would jump, hurdle everything.
Oh, I think so.
Run
Yeah.
through the airport. And then he was
So.
in those Naked Gun movies.
Yeah, those were not funny at all to me. Those were stupid.
You got to be in the right mood.
Yeah, those movies were
For
stupid.
those slapstick kind of comedy.
So O.J. Simpson passed away at 76 today. So rest in peace, Gullify. Christine Moya has checked in from Jamaica she's on her cruise.
Oh, she's still
her
in
and
jail.
are still checking in on their cruise. But yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of sad that he passed away, and
it's sad for the families.
It's sad for the families,
and I don't know how
I just feel bad for his kids.
Right.
I feel bad for his kids. So there you go. Community announcements. Let's hit community announcements. Where are we?
All right. I'll go first.
Uh-huh.
So season 8 of 2024 Stag Elite's Big Man Camp is still going on at City College in San Francisco. You can kickstart your Big Man off-season training every Saturday. It's running right now until June 29th from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Secure your spot by registering at stagelite.org. Let them know you're coming.
Yeah. Christine Moya says we're looking for backpacks and school supplies and anything to enhance our family day. I have backpacks. Join all my usos for Fatma Losi, Building a Better Mind and Body, free class Tuesdays from 5:30 to 7 p.m. They'll be teaching Tahitian dance, song, and drumming. They're still doing that while expanding your knowledge of mental health resources. Limited space available. Secure your place by clicking the link in their bio. They have tons and tons of stuff going on. Follow all my usos for all their updates.
And again, like Naki had said, getting involved in Sacramento community events, coming to the Follow with guest speaker Jasmine Delafos, History of Pacifica Power that created political change, is happening tomorrow night at from 6 to 8 p.m. at Luther Burbank High. That's on the corner of Florin and Franklin Road in South Sacramento. Register at Pacifica Power, and we'll put that link and the flyer up so you're able to do that. Great event. Sounds like a really good event. Epic's there, a lot of big names there when you look at the sponsors on the bottom of that flyer.
Yeah. Uprooted presents Cali Island Culture, Hollywood's first event going down in Hollywood at 7225 West Sunset Boulevard, Los Angeles on April 13th. That must be Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. This is a free event. Come out to LA and get your favorite kava and enjoy some island foods, bar by Lavish, Catering 86, live entertainment, and so much more. Come out, support Island Culture of LA event 2024.
Look at us talking about Sacramento and LA.
Yes.
Back to the city. Samoan Solutions presents their Illuminati Education Gift and Illuminati Art Gift Awards. San Francisco Bay Area students of Samoan descent in grades 6 through 12 can apply for financial support towards education and mixed media art. Check the flyer for all the qualifications. Deadline to apply is Friday, April 19th. Apply today through the link in their bio and follow them for all the great things they do and the updates.
Join Bay Area Pacifica Content Sesh on April 21st. This event brings together Pacifica photographers, videographers, models, and small business owners for a day of collaboration and creativity, featuring talented content creators such as Cinematographer, The Living Room Media, Wiki Productions, Mobligated Films, and See Me Photography. So many more other creators will be there. It's a chance to celebrate Pacifica culture and community while showcasing skills and talents. Don't miss out. Register now at bit.ly PI Content Sesh.
You're brave. You read the bit links.
Mm-mm.
Quick call out. The Living Room Media was in that list of talented creators. Go check out PD's interview on 30 to Life on the YouTube page. Fantastic interview with Uso Ron took place last week.
Yay.
Or aired last week. The 6th Annual Polynesian Heritage Awards, brought to you by Pacific Islander Community Partnership, is happening on Saturday, May 4th at 5 p.m. in South San Francisco Recreation Banquet Hall. General admission tickets are on sale now. We can't wait to celebrate and honor our Pacifica community together as we kick off Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Click the link in their bio to purchase tickets because they're going to sell out.
They're going to sell out. Swap and Shop, a sneaker expo and makers market in collaboration with Ohlone College Flea Market, is happening Saturday, May 11th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Ohlone College in Fremont. This is a free event for all ages. For more information or to be a vendor, follow collective.soles, SOLES, on Instagram.
I mispronounced that as Soles last week.
Mm.
Pacific Island Together Pit presents their annual Shine Family Day on Saturday, May 18th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Gellert Park in Daly City, one of Pacifica by Design's favorite events of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Come on out with a family to celebrate community. For more information, please follow Pacific Islands Together on Instagram. And I think this is the first time they're not at Jefferson High School, right?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. So I'm excited to get to that event. There's so many more events happening. We're trying to stay within April and May, like within the next couple of months. There are a lot of events happening in June and July, and August is too far down the line. Otherwise, we'll be talking for like 15 minutes.
They would make it an hour and a half long.
Right. And we don't want that.
We have an important person coming up.
We have the most important person who has been just staple in the media community. She's been a star. Like, I'm so in awe of the work that she's doing and the work that she's been doing all over, and doing community work and showing up everywhere. And so let me just read her bio that we have. Sistah T is not just a guest here, but a trailblazer. She really is a trailblazer in the world of radio, especially for the Pacific Islander community. Hailing from Harbor City, California, raised in Daly City and Carson, California, Sistah T's journey in broadcasting began at San Diego City College. There's my sister, where she studied broadcasting and communications. Her career took off in 1990, where she stepped into the world of radio. Influential figures like, I don't got my glasses on. and Magic Man. She co-hosted the Quiet Storm R&B show in 1993, showcasing her talent and passion for music. In 2007, Sistah T joined the Coconut Wireless Mix Show, a significant milestone in her career. And by 2011, she had not only purchased the copyright, but also owned the trademark rights to the Coconut Wireless, cementing her legacy in the industry. And her journey doesn't stop there. January 2024, this year, she was added to the Reggae Yard Show lineup. She's badass in her own right. Like, I can go on and on and on, and I'm trying to be like her. I think she really did inspire me watching her on the mic all these years. She really did inspire me and gave me the courage to grab a mic and besides you pushing me, but watching her do what she loves and having so much fun has really inspired me to be here, sitting here talking to you. Like nowhere near her legacy, but I hope to someday.
God.
I hope to
It's
someday
cool.
be like you, sister. Welcome to
Welcome.
the FICA
What a
broadcast, sister.
heck of an intro, man.
It's all you. And
It's all you.
that's
It's all
not
stuff you
even that's
did.
that's not even everything. That's not even everything. So thank you so much for taking the time to join us this evening. We're just, we highlight people that are doing the work and loving what they do and showing, everyone, like young and younger and old and older. I'm seasoned. So I'm seasoned. So just to show everybody, like, this is what amazing looks like, right? You can do this too. Like, look, there's somebody that looks like you doing what they love. So thank you so much for joining us. Tell us a little bit about what I didn't talk about. Tell us a little bit about your family and where you're living now.
Well, I'm from the Tupono Massive out there in Daly City.
That's right.
I'm an OG Frisco girl, so but I got to tell you, first and foremost, thank you for having me. I mean, this is I've been watching you guys over the years. I've been watching you guys grow and thrive, and just the work that you guys put in with the media entity. Man, it makes me so proud. I'm so proud of seeing you guys grow the way you have, and I'm your biggest fan. I am your
thank you, sister.
biggest fan. I watch every move you make.
Thank you,
And it
sister.
just, I can't help but sit back and admire and be inspired by what you and Carl and your whole team do out there. So thank you for
Thank
your
you,
That means a
sister.
lot coming from somebody in media.
No,
right?
seriously, thank you.
Sometimes people
Thank
say
you.
things and they're not in media, and it's like, I'm not sure, but coming from you, that means a lot to hear that. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, there's not many of us in the
Yeah.
media, and so I was inspired by one of the greatest, Suniva on Hawaii. Auntie
Oh,
Suniva,
yes.
I mean, I watched her growing up as a young girl, and she moved away from Frisco, went to Samoa, and the next thing I know, my parents are bringing home videos, and she's on these videos hosting and emceeing and
The anchor
broadcasting
for
and
TV, right?
anchoring and DJing. I mean, she's doing it all, and that was an inspirational thing
Right.
for me to see her transform herself. And I thought, man, if she could do it,
Right.
there's inspiration right there. Yeah, I originally wanted to be an anchor, a news anchor, until I was told that news anchors don't look like me.
Right.
Mhm.
Well,
And I
you show
pivoted.
them.
Well, I pivoted into radio, and I think it was a good thing for me because music is my first love. So,
Yeah.
but Naki, you're a natural at
Oh God.
this,
Very much so.
Oh
right?
God.
I keep telling her,
Please.
you tell her, Sister T.
Seriously, you're a natural at this. So there should be nothing that you don't need the inspiration when you have the natural talent for it. And you are not someone who shies away from the mic. You're very personable, and you just keep it real. And that's what media is all about, is being as authentically real on the mic as you can be, and making people feel comfortable when you talk to them.
I think that's your story too, because I think it's in our blood, sister. I think it's in our blood.
It may be. I mean, it trickles down somewhere, some way. But I know that my passion for this is very natural. I'm not one to shy away from public speaking or anything like that. So learning how to do it appropriately was a good thing for me, because it helped me grow. And
Yeah.
then being on live radio, you can't mess up on live radio. I mean,
No.
you really got to check yourself or you will wreck yourself. And
Right.
so live radio has always kept me honest
Yeah.
and has made me accountable and aware of what I'm saying and how I'm saying it and how I'm making people feel. And like you guys with FICA, you know, my whole motive behind it is to make people feel good, you know,
Yeah.
to bring the positive vibe. So
Yeah, you're totally doing that. I'm telling you, girl, you just really pushed me to like, I'm like watching Sister do it. I'm like, I'm sure I can, let me try it. Let me try it.
oh
But
my
no,
God.
your work, we've been in awe of your work. So trust me. But, and let me just ask you a question.
Yeah.
What drew you to media? What drew you to media?
Well, originally, me and my brothers, we started a entertainment company called Someone for Life Entertainment out in San Diego, and we started in the hip hop realm. Me and my brothers are original members of a group called the Universal Zulu Nation, which is one of the oldest original hip hop organizations that strive to um, have people live or understand the culture of hip hop
Hmm.
through the four pillars of hip hop, which is DJing, graffiti, rap, and I just all through the arts. So I joined by mail, believe it or not, in my bedroom as a teenager, probably in like 1977. And at the time, Africa Bambaataa, who
Yeah.
was part of Soul Sonic Force and all those old school hip hop groups, some of your listeners might not even know who those are. He actually had signups for the organization through a magazine called Right On Magazine. And
Wow.
as a gift from my father, who my parents never let me go anywhere, but the one thing my dad did do was buy me a yearly subscription to that magazine.
Oh,
And that's how I kept in touch with pop culture. And so I joined Universal Zulu Nation. I encouraged my younger brothers, who I kind of raised. And when we started this entertainment group in San Diego, we brought groups that today they are worldwide legends, like Cypress Hill, Snoop
wow.
Dogg, Digital Underground.
Hmm.
I mean, we brought a lot of these groups, Mob Deep,
Wow.
the list goes on and on with these artists, and we were able to bring them into clubs out in San Diego and promote them. And then my brother was offered a radio spot, and I didn't really care for the hip hop part of it, but I did want to do something with either oldies or reggae, lovers rock reggae. That was my jam. So when my brother started the radio scene, I went to broadcasting class, signed up for a college broadcasting class, and I started in jazz. I had
Nice.
a radio show from midnight to 2 in the morning. Nobody listened, but it was everything to me. The
Yeah.
radio show was everything to me, and I had to spin artists like Kenny G and
Oh, wow.
just old jazz artists. But it bore me to death. But I was on the radio. I was happy. So that's where my first
That's
start
the
was, and
most
that was
important thing. It made you happy.
Is that kind of
exactly.
is that a rite of passage? Because I know that I listened to Jim Rome, right? He's a
Right,
huge
right.
character, and he talks about being on the air in Santa Barbara at like 1 in the morning and doing cat food ads and those kind of things. And he's just
Exactly.
like, that's what you do when you get
You
in.
had to
You're
pay
like,
your
as long
dues.
as I got a spot, I'm good and
Yeah,
I'll figure it out from there. So
yeah.
how do you stay motivated when you're like, I don't think there's anybody listening? How do you still want to be the best DJ? You know what I mean? Like, because to get to the next level, you're going to have to excel at that. How do you motivate yourself when you're like you said, I'm not sure if anybody's listening?
Yeah, for me, I think I got to the point where I didn't care if anybody was listening. It was how I felt about what I was doing, because I would play back my shows, I would listen to all the errors that I made, and I would always strive to perfect, on the next show. And then I'd create whole new errors and then strive on the next show after that to fix those. I mean, it just went on and on and on until I finally realized, after becoming seasoned at it, that it's not about the mistakes you made. It's about how you bounce back from them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could stay authentic and humble on the mic, then your listeners will continue to stay engaged. But if you make a mistake and you try to just move right past it and think that they're not noticing, you're dead wrong. They notice.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the things, cutting our teeth in radio was like the silence. Like we were like
dead air,
like
dead air,
and there's nobody to save you but you. Like there's not. It's just crickets chirping in the background and us looking at each other. So that was one of the reasons we kept this show the way that it is so far. It's not produced. It's the old school radio, one take, no break. We're just going and it goes how it goes.
And that's the whole reason why I'm so admirable of the work that you guys are doing, is because you guys are really keeping it, genuine and authentic and authentically you. And that's why people are so attracted to it. You guys went from 500 followers to, well over 13,000. I mean, and I watched the growth, the whole time.
Oh my!
That's Naki. That's Naki's our social media person. But yeah, in the beginning, if we got 10 likes on a post, we were like high five. We were calling each other, and we were like, "Did you see it? Somebody liked it."
Right? Because they're always like, "Can you imagine walking to a room and 10 people want to listen to us? That's awesome!"
That's awesome, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so being in media, in radio, broadcasting, it's a whole different animal.
Yeah.
It's a whole different animal.
Yes.
It takes, and only the strong can survive it.
Yes. Were there any challenges? Were there any challenges being not only a woman, but a Pacific Islander woman or a woman of color? Did you get any of that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the one thing I didn't have when I first started out was social media. So you can easily contact people to try to, get in and get a chance or get a spot. So I had to go out, and that's how I got interned with Delilah for the short time. I mean, I only interned with her for 3 months, but even being in her presence, and she's a world renowned, radio personality. And I didn't get on the mic with her or anything. I wasn't even in the studio with her, but I was part of her team that would put up the music for her, flag her, do the research behind certain artists, so that she always had things at her fingertips when she spoke on the mic. And will I ever get to that capacity? Probably not.
Yes,
but,
you are. You're already there.
It was just great. It was great to work with someone so phenomenal like that. And then hosting Quiet Storm with DiMaggio Lee and doing all the R&B slow jams and the lovers dedications and stuff like that. It took me back to my days when I grew up in Southern California in Wilmington and Carson. We grew up around a predominantly Mexican neighborhood.
Yeah.
And back then there were DJs or personalities on the air like Huggy Boy and Art LeBeau. And, I grew up listening to all those guys. So they were my inspiration behind doing the lovers or the Quiet Storm with DiMaggio Lee. But there's always pushback, especially if you're a woman and especially if you're a woman of color.
I think there's today anybody can do a podcast. Anybody can do a live, a show. I don't think there's enough respect for people that went through your generation. You've got to get a spot. Like you've got to go to a radio station that's owned by somebody, and you've got to pitch yourself, and you've got to put in the time to be, an intern or those kind of things. That's just not appreciated nowadays, because now you can just clip live and
go live,
StreamYard and whatever, and boom, you're on. And
that's us.
It's way different for you to have gone through what you went through. You went through formalized media. You know what I mean? Like that is a process that's probably unknown to a lot of people. People won't ever understand what you have to go through to get a spot as a woman of color in a, it's like going for a job. It's not like just deciding, let's do a podcast. Okay, let's click and we're on. you had to go through that. Were there points where you considered not doing it, or was the passion for the music and what you're doing enough to get you through?
I think that passion for the music and for being on the mic outweighed the adversity and the challenges. It really did. I was willing to do the grunt hours, the 11 to 1 in the morning, and all that stuff. And I always would tell myself, well, people are coming out of the club, so they'll listen to you on their way home.
Yes.
I try to talk myself into who I thought would be listening and play to them, but it takes many years to get a primetime spot in radio and to get a primetime day. Every spot is it is measured by radio algorithms, by how many listeners log in, and they have a way, Spinatron. We use Spinatron, where they monitor how many people log into the station or are listening through the tower. And I'm just happy. I'm really blessed to be in a prime spot and to be simulcasted, because it helps me connect with the artists that I play too.
Yeah, way different level of achievement to get where you're at versus let's just do a live show.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah, it took a lot of years, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but I think everything was worth it. I'm in such a comfortable place with radio right now, and I just got invited to do a show out in Florida called Art of Reggae, and some of the legendary Lovers Rock artists will be there, and I get to interview them, and I'm
Awesome.
man, you guys have no idea how happy I am with stuff like that. That stuff.
When is that happening?
So that's Mother's Day weekend, and
nice.
the Art of Reggae is actually on Sunday, Mother's Day. So I'll be flying out the day before doing the show, and then flying right back the day after.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, and then I got to kick. UB40 has invited me again. They're coming to Washington, and they've invited me to come kick it with them again this year.
Nice.
But they're bringing Maxi Priest, and I'm a huge Maxi Priest fan. So
that's
I'll be able to
awesome.
interview him. Yeah, and then we just got word that we're doing the Wailers, Third World, and it's another big show. So some legendary artists are coming.
Yes, that's
I
huge.
wouldn't have had the opportunity hadn't I, if I didn't work
I got to
get
see
the show to a prime spot.
That's so awesome.
I got to see Maxi Priest and Shabba Ranks when I was in Hawaii. I worked for Tower Records. There's a name from the 90s, right?
Oh my God, yes.
And it was
those are the Reggae Sunsplash days.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Maxi Priest, there was actually a bunch of different artists there. Those are the main two that it went in 95, I think 94. That's who those are the two that I was going to see. Maxi Priest was incredible.
Wow.
Like
the
energy he gave off was just wild.
I miss the way the concerts were back then. Yeah, that was a fun era for reggae.
Yeah.
I'm seeing more and more people breaking into the podcast room, and I'm really happy to see that.
Me too. Because there's an audience for everyone, right? Yeah. Like we may not be for everyone. So here, but what I love is there's so many Pacific Islanders now that you can listen to, like if we're not for you, you have choices, right? Where before we had one or two people you could listen to. Now, I love that there's so many people we can listen to, no matter what genre or whatever.
It's so true.
No matter, younger people.
But the good thing about podcasts is the subject matter is, it can be explicit,
yes.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about podcasting, whereas live radio, we're under FCC. So, and especially if you're in the primetime hours, they're really, really listening. And they're listening even to the music we play. So we have to make sure our music is clean. And
that's what I miss about the radio station. We could play music. We didn't.
Yeah, we can't play music here.
ASCAP. Yeah, we can't play music now. But at the radio station, we were like, "What do we want to play going into the break?" Well, it was anything. Like we could play anything. Now it's like you play just a snippet of something and you get clipped from YouTube,
right? Yeah,
or Facebook.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So all these rules around it for sure.
Is there, with all the storytelling and all the people that you've interviewed, is there one that's the most memorable for you?
That's a really great question, Mackie. And I should
Got you
have
on the
went over
spot.
these questions with you because you really did. You put me on the spot. Gosh, there's been quite a few artists over my time that I've interviewed. I think, and this was an unofficial interview, but I think Tupac.
Mm.
He
Ooh,
was one. I didn't get to record it. We didn't have social media back then.
right.
Um, but I recorded him at one point and I wanted to play it on a show, but I didn't have a show with that genre. So
Uh,
I just saved it and saved it. And then, of course, with old
right.
phones and things like that, you just eventually lose it. And man, yeah, I'd say Tupac because we spoke a lot about the complexities of him growing up with a mom that was, part of the
Mm.
Black Panthers.
Right.
And we talked about how a lot of it correlates with what the Islanders go through. And man, he was a really wise brother. I mean,
Right.
he was really, really intelligent. He could have been Mensa. I mean, he
Yeah.
could have been a member of Mensa. He was that intelligent. And yeah, I just thought I sat back in awe, thinking, "Who is this guy?
Right.
Why are you doing this gangster rap? You're so
Exactly.
smart,
I mean, even his music, like I love
Yeah,
his music. Like some of it, like, you listen to it and it's still like pertains to now,
Yeah.
to
like
now. Yeah,
to
he was
now.
so ahead of the
Ahead of his
game.
time. Yes.
Yeah,
A lot of
ahead
the
Yes.
of his
visionaries
time.
are that way. Like they say
Yeah.
things and it's timeless. Like you could
Yes,
Yeah.
look at it and you're like, yeah, that fit in 93 and it
yes.
fit in
Now.
2003
Yeah.
and in
And it
2020.
goes
Like
right
those
into
are things
today.
that are
Yeah,
timeless. Wow.
yeah.
So was that what was that like Death Row Records time? What was it?
He
All Eyes on Me kind of like
He was with no, he wasn't even signed yet to Death Row.
oh
He
wow.
he was independent artist. See, I grew up in an era where even Dr. Dre was spinning at the Compton swap meet, and I knew
Yeah.
him
Yeah,
from
yeah.
there. Snoop. I mean, Ice-T literally slept in the garage. With the
Yeah.
boys. I mean, he kicked it with Booyah Tribe. I mean,
Yeah.
we knew these guys before they became the international phenoms that they are today. So there was no star studded, I mean, there was no starry eyed, being
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
them or
Back
anything like
then.
that. We weren't fans. And I
Oh, that's
still
cool
don't
because you're getting
consider
a
myself
real experience. Where he's not like trying to relate to a fan. He's just
yeah,
relating one on one in a
yeah.
conversation. That's awesome.
Yeah, I
Great
mean,
stuff.
yeah, we've kicked it with Cypress Hill where we just ate fried chicken with them and just sat throwing the bones out and talking life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think about them today and go, wow, these guys go to Germany and everybody's like trying to tear
Yeah.
their clothes off now. It's amazing how far people have come.
I'm glad we didn't have phones when we were young, but moments like that, like it's when I think back, like, oh, I talked to this person, or I was like, well, just
I
for that
know.
half an hour, I wish I had a phone. But I
Yeah.
don't want the
I
phones to be
know.
around later when we're doing when other stuff's
I
going on.
know. But even like for me and Naki's younger days, like back in the late 70s when we were just young little teeny boppers kicking it in
Yeah.
Frisco. I wish that I had pictures from that
Right.
era,
Yeah.
where because there was just so much that I mean, to this day, Naki just you continue to amaze me. I tell people your story a lot that don't really know you, and I always tell them, Naki was an adult at like the age of 13. She was
Yeah.
already driving. She was already working.
Oh,
She
yeah.
was, I
Remember
mean,
you were driving at like 12,
you
13.
know,
Okay. Do you know what? I tell this story and people just crack up. I go, Sistah T, her and I were in Rikishi's first wedding. Remember that? And they're like, you were? And I was like, oh, yeah, I got pictures. I got pictures. You don't want to see those pictures, but I got
we have
pictures.
evidence.
Yeah, we got evidence. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, and your start with Someone Affairs, was
Oh
my
my
start
God.
with Someone Affairs in LA, and that's how I got into the political realm.
Right.
And
She just
you
ran
know,
into the Office of Samoan Affairs in Sacramento
Yeah.
just
yeah,
last
well, no,
weekend.
I saw that. I saw
Yeah.
that. Yes, I saw that. I saw the interview.
I
Yeah, and
didn't
I
know.
just
I didn't even want to go down. I used to work there. I was at the, my Aunt
well,
Lena and Paco,
yeah. Yeah, Auntie Paco had, yeah, I think they, it was child labor back then. They were
Right. Because I don't even
playing
think I was 16 then. I was
some
like,
I know
Well,
for
did you
sure
even
you
get your
weren't,
checks?
and you're
I think my parents got my checks.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about the child labor thing. Did you even get paid?
We had so much fun those summers, though,
it
just working, and it
was
was so
so
much
much
fun.
fun. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, we go way back, way
Way
back.
back, like 10 years ago.
She busted out the 70s.
Yeah, she busted out the 70s. With how have you, like, the technology changes all the time in radio and
Oh,
digital
yeah,
media? How is that working? Like, I can't, anything changes here, I'm just like, we had to hire, because when we first started, Carl was doing everything, and then I
yeah,
would side bus. Now it's too much. I'm like, my brain is too old. Now we have a producer. We have,
yeah.
so how is
I
that working for you?
I have recently recruited my youngest brother, Primetime, to come in and help produce my shows now, where I could just do the hosting and he
Nice.
could DJ behind me because,
See.
like you said, the technical side of it changes, and things become obsolete in a minute with the radio, and
Right.
there's always this new improved system of doing things, and but with live broadcast, one thing does stay consistent, and that's monitoring the tower, and
Mm.
all radio stations do it. They monitor how much the tower is transforming um, and broadcasting for you. So I always know to keep my eyes on the monitors, and it it's, as I get older, though, I tell you, my multitasking skills start to escape me,
Yeah.
and there's been times where I haven't switched things over to the right tower or the right monitor, and I'm like, damn it! So,
Oopsie.
yeah, so if you listen to some of the shows, it's funny because you'll literally hear me mess up live.
We always tell the story of when we were first in the studio, we would go to commercials and play the
Mhm.
commercials,
And forget to turn our mics
I'd
off.
forget to mute the mic, right? So the listeners could hear us saying, "Well, I don't even know what like we're talking about. Well, when do you stop it? Does it stop at like 5 after?"
It was
And
awful.
Naki's
It
asking me,
was
we're
just
getting
awful.
text on our phone going, "We can hear you."
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Yeah, and then
Horrible.
you have the equipment malfunctions where my last week show, I had Johnny Sweet on, and I was going to
Mm.
do a phone interview. Well, he calls in and the phone doesn't work, doesn't
Right.
pass through. So I'm like, oh, no problem. We're going to get him on in the next segment. Next segment comes up, and all right, Johnny, there you are. And no Johnny. Like, sure, and all
That's
you want
happened
to
to
do is
us.
just
Yeah.
freaking. But with live radio, it keeps you honest.
Yes. Yes, it does.
One take, no
So
break.
Is there an
exactly.
interview, sister, anybody living or dead, that you wish you would have interviewed, or that
If
you
you
wish
could,
if
yeah.
you could, or you wish that you have interviewed, living or passed away?
Artist wise, or
Anyone in
Any
particular?
figure,
Yeah.
public figure, or somebody in your life, and that you think about, like, who could you, if you could talk and have a conversation with anybody, alive or past, who would it be?
I wish I would have spent more time, and this is probably going to sound boring to listeners or the watchers of this, but I wish I would have spent more time delving into my dad's background.
Mm.
My dad was a phenomenal organist and singer, and he taught many choirs, and the Tifonos are kind of known for
Yeah,
that.
they are.
Yeah, and I did not know my dad was classically trained behind Solomonga. And if you look in any of our peces and any of our songbooks, you'll see that a lot of these Samoan church songs were composed by Solomonga. And I had no idea my dad was sent to New Zealand to be
Wow.
trained by him. And then my grandfather brought him back to Samoa and kind of pimped him out and had him in choirs with his, with his, what he learned. And I just wish that I could have talked more to my dad about that. And that way I could keep that legacy about him alive with our descendants.
Yeah.
But have the correct information, straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
Oh,
These
definitely.
are things I just find out here and there from random people,
Right.
and they're like, "Did you know your dad did this, or did you?" And I'm like, "What? Wait a minute!" And there's a girl in New Zealand. She's actually studying for her PhD in music, and she's gathering all that data about
Oh,
Oh
wow.
wow.
these church songs. And so she actually reached out to me and asked me about my dad. She's the one that told me about it.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, I'm just yeah. If I had to do it all over again, I would have paid a lot more attention to him and my uncle Aqua. May they
Yes.
rest in peace. And
Right.
really sat them down and recorded or made sure that I memorialized their backgrounds,
Right.
in music.
He probably did teach Akoa, because Akoa was like he played by ear,
Yeah.
and then he taught choirs, alto,
Oh
like
yeah.
every alto
Every
bass, like
voice.
he was
Yeah.
teaching you every voice how to sing. That's how I got my alto down, girl.
Yeah.
He was
Hey.
smacking me around.
Hey, it was all about the Oloko, man. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, we both grew up singing the 4-part harmony, and we were taught by that style,
Yeah.
of conductors. And my dad was one of them. That they both they were similar how they taught choirs. But yeah, there's just so much history that was lost, that I really wish I would have delved into. So.
Yeah.
But if
Well,
it was
that's-
one of the current artists, of course, Bob Marley.
Yes.
have you seen the movie? I just saw the movie
Yeah,
last,
yeah, I went
week
to see
before
it.
last.
Yeah, actually, I'll be interviewing Ziggy. He's coming to Seattle. When is it?
Nice.
July. He's coming. Yeah, July 12th. And
Nice.
yeah,
I'll be
so we're
looking for that.
promoting the show. Yeah, we're probably gonna say, you want to fly out? Let's come fly
Yes,
out.
girl.
Look
I'll
at
fly
that.
out.
Look at
I will fly
that.
out. Let me know. I'm serious.
I'm dead serious.
I'm dead serious too. I will
Okay,
fly out just to
I'll put you and
stare.
Pearl up. Come out.
Yeah, the movie looked like it was made by the Marley family. Like that was.
Yeah,
when I looked at the
Rita.
credits,
Yeah, Rita
yeah.
and Ziggy really signed off on it. And but you can't capture in an hour and 45 minutes. You can't capture that man's
No,
life.
Right.
no.
I mean, there was so much behind it. He had so many kids for so many other women. I
Right,
mean,
right.
and they're all in the music game now. So he would have been someone I would have loved to sit down and talk
Talk with.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also was ahead of his time, way
Yeah.
ahead of his time, because his music still lives on today with the words and everything that
Yeah.
he spoke on. It's amazing.
You have to watch that movie in conjunction with the documentary,
Yes.
just so you can get the full effect of the man that he was, because the
Documentary.
movie is missing so many,
Yeah.
That's exactly what I
pieces.
thought. Is
Yeah.
it fills in pieces where I'm like, man,
Correct.
if I hadn't seen, like, they just skipped over
Yeah.
this whole piece of it. But
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you take the two together,
Yeah.
it does paint a more, I don't know, holistic picture. You get the documentary side of the hard
Absolutely.
facts, and then you get kind
Yeah.
of the film version. But yeah, I love the music because to me it wasn't over commercialized. Like if you listen to
Right.
you listen to Earth, Wind and Fire, right? You're thinking,
Mhm,
oh, that's 79. Like that's because it
Right.
got played on the radio at that point way too much.
Right.
With Bob Marley's music, to me, it feels timeless. Like I don't have to look back
It's
at, oh,
so
that
true.
was 85 or that
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
it's like, this is this time when I was at the river doing this. It was this time in
Right.
a whole nother a decade
Era.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Right.
timeless.
It resonated a lot with the Samoan community too, Pacific Islanders in general,
Yeah.
because the time that it got real popular with us was in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
And even though his rebel music, like Buffalo Soldiers and all
Yeah.
that, were hits, I think when he came over and he crossed into lovers rock and he started writing more songs about love, like Waiting in Vain, stuff like
Mhm.
that, that's when the Pollies just went crazy.
Crazy.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you
They
can get
went
a
crazy.
Polly not to, yeah, you can get the Pollies not to sing that stuff, or, and it was funny because, you know, before you would hear the Pollies bump, you know, all the R&B stuff, the classics, Confunction, and Jazz Man Zap, and all that, and then slowly you started seeing them shift into the, you know, the reggae,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know, music and stuff, and today, my focus within radio is reggae. Yeah, I've traveled to Brixton, um, in the UK, to Jamaica, to
I love it.
Florida, to research it. Traveled over to New York many times, and I've been able to talk to really influential and talented reggae artists. And that's why I'm really pushing to uplift our Polynesian artists
Mm.
Yeah.
who uh, who use that genre, you know, as part of their music. And yeah, it's a blessing for me. This is the legacy I want to leave behind in radio, is that at least I was able to give a platform to our people
Yes.
to have something to bring music through. Because, you know, if you want to get on iHeartRadio and all that, you got to have a $10 million sponsor behind
Right.
you. You
Right.
know,
Right. Right. Do
And I'm
you?
praying for Common Kings and all them. I
Oh,
hope that they
yes.
could break the barrier. Then J Bug and all that, they got a
Right.
Yeah.
chance,
Yeah.
but it's still real tough competition.
Really tough. Do you have a favorite, or not a favorite, but somewhat a Polynesian artist that you listen to more than others?
There's too many of them, you
Yeah.
know.
Can
I
narrow
mean,
it.
yeah, there's so many of it. I mean, if it's from the mainland, from Cali, you know, our niece Tanel, you know,
Yes. Uh-huh.
love her to death. If it's in Hawaii, then it could be anybody like you know, Johnny Sweet, or
Yeah.
Lickle Jordan, and um, you know, there's just so many
So
of them.
many.
Aotearoa, you know, with Sammy J, and
Oh, yeah.
oh, there's too
So
many.
many. There's so many great, PI artists that are
Yeah,
out. I mean, that's all I listen to when I'm in the car, because you can
yeah,
do that. There's so many artists. Before, when I was growing up, there was like a handful. Now you just
right,
can go for hours listening. I love it. I love it.
right. Yeah, I
I
spend a
love
lot of my free time researching them, because they'll just put snippets of their music out on SoundCloud or something like
mm,
that. And unless you're paying attention, you'll miss it, you know. And
yeah,
the minute I hear something, and if it's melodic and it's dope, oh man, it's going on the show. And half the
nice.
time they don't even know I'm playing it, you know, but I
Yeah,
don't care, you know. And I get a lot of callers that'll call in and say, "Who is that?" You know, oh well, just, you know, check out the playlist. You'll see, or get me on social media. I'll let you know.
yeah,
But
yeah. That's so. I don't want to take up too much of your time because it's evening time.
it's okay.
But
I just got off the airplane.
somebody. Oh, where'd you come from, sister?
I just came in from Philadelphia, but it's
Oh,
okay.
geez.
It's all good.
Oh, so sorry. But I don't want to take up too much of your time. But if somebody that's looking to pursue a career in radio or in music, and what advice would you give them?
I think if they're really serious about it, and you know, it depends. If you want to go podcasting, there's so many avenues for that.
Yeah.
But if you want to go into live broadcasting, which is a whole different animal, you know, I highly recommend that they go to their local college, you know, that offers a broadcasting class.
Mhm.
Because 9 out of 10 times, if they do offer that class, then they have the equipment there, the studio equipment. Most colleges have college radio,
Right.
and
Mm.
that's where, you know, 99.9% of great DJs came from. It's college radio, you know. And like Carl said, you know, you start with the grunt hours, or you know, two or
Yeah.
three in the morning or whatever, and you work your way up, you know. But at least in those hours when it's limited listenership and limited, there's no FCC rules from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Oh,
You
nice.
can mess up, you know. You
Yeah.
can mess up all you want.
That's where you
You
do all
know?
your learning.
Yeah,
That's
right.
where you learn. That's
That's
where
where
you
you
learn.
learn.
Absolutely. Yeah. And just, you know, it takes practice, takes a lot of will. and think about something that's unique, and develop that into a program.
I love it. Thank you for
Yeah.
that, sister. And one
Yeah,
last
for sure.
question before we let you go. Who's
Oh.
been your inspiration or your role model growing up?
Like I said, it's been Auntie Suniva.
Yeah.
Her and Monica Miller.
Yep.
They have both been huge inspirations for me. Not only because they're our relatives, but because they're women.
Yeah.
Women in broadcasting, and I don't know why nobody has celebrated Suniva yet, but they need to.
They need
There
to.
needs
They
to be
really
some
do.
legacy award. Please let me know, because I will be there. I
Yeah.
will be there. I will put money into it, whatever, because she needs to be recognized for her contributions in broadcasting.
She really does.
Yeah.
She was one of the, I think if not the first woman, Samoan woman that I seen in broadcasting that
Yeah.
really, I was like, oh my
Me
God,
too.
there's somebody
Yeah.
that looks like me on TV.
Well,
So
the unique thing about Suniva was she was the only one that was bilingual. The rest of them only spoke Samoan back in
Samoan. Yeah.
Samoa. Yeah, and she was
Yes.
bilingual. She would break it off both ways, And I think that's why her fame grew so quickly,
Yeah.
is because the people that were from off island, they were able to feel a little bit more like they
Right.
understood what was
Stood.
going on with the program.
Exactly. And she's still stunning to this day.
Today. Oh gosh.
Still stunning to
You
this
can't
day.
get past those dimples.
Oh yeah. True. But sister, oh my gosh, thank you so much for your time. We're going to let you get back to your family and get some rest. You
Oh,
just
this
got
was
off a plane
great.
from Philadelphia.
This was
We
great.
really appreciate you taking this time to speak to us and
Thank you
talk
for
a little
having
bit
me.
about your journey. And I'm so proud of you and the work that you're doing. I'm so
I'm the same
I
for
can't
you
even
guys.
put into words that I love you so much. Thank you for your time.
Well,
Thank you so
I love and appreciate you guys, and I'm your biggest fan. Trust
Oh,
me.
you're so
I'm
sweet.
out here and I'm lifting you guys up every step of the way. Please keep up the great work.
You as
Well,
well.
thank
You
you as well.
too.
Thanks for
You
having me.
too.
Get some rest.
God bless you,
All right, you guys.
sister. Love you.
All right, love you guys. Bye.
She's so awesome.
Yeah, that whole radio thing, that's a whole different animal.
Yeah.
That's a whole different animal
She's
because
badass.
you've got it's a job interview.
Yeah.
Like you've got to get a spot. Like you've got to
Yeah.
sell your way in there. And then, you hear about interns that become DJs
Yeah.
because they're doing that. Like they're
Yeah.
researching for the show, they're setting up the studio, they're doing all these things behind the scenes. It's way different than, everybody can create a podcast.
Yeah.
Right. It's easy. Creating a good podcast is harder. Being good on getting
And
on the air.
longevity.
Right.
Being on the air for a long time.
Yeah.
That says a lot about she's
way different avenue or venue that she's in than we're in.
Yeah.
That's a different level.
She's like way.
Yeah.
She's like
several levels
we're
above
down
what
here.
we're doing.
We're down here. She's up here. She's up here. Please follow her on social media, the Coconut Wireless Mix Show. She's in Washington. Catch her if you can, but you can follow everything that she's up to. Sistah T. She is on Instagram. Please follow her. We appreciate and love her so much.
Yeah.
Awesome. Did you want to go into something, or are we done?
Real quick, I wanted to say, so I no longer work at the company that I was at for 22 years.
Mm-hmm.
And what I would, some learning that I got from that, and I learned this several years ago, thank God, is, I got Exceeds reviews for years, right? What are they ever going to do without me?
Yeah.
The day you leave, that company will give your work to somebody
else
or fill your slot immediately. That company's going to live. They're going to survive, thrive, die, whatever they're going to do. They're going to continue to do what your job was doing before you left.
Yes.
So I was happy that when I was having the conversation with my boss's boss about no longer working there, I was like, I'm good. Like I am, because I didn't sell my soul to the company. In the last 10 years, I've made a huge effort to be intentional about what I do in my life, where I spend my time, who I spend my time with, and to make sure that I'm getting all of what life can give me out of my job. So the time that I'm working in my job, I'm giving 110% and I'm doing amazing things. And then when I'm done working and I'm at a community event, or
Yeah.
I'm here, or I'm doing something with my family or my loved ones. So don't sell your soul to the company that you work for, because they're going to replace you. There's people doing my job this week.
Yeah.
I was let go last Friday. There are people doing my job this entire week. It's okay. But only reason you're going to have is resentment, at least for me, would have been if I overcommitted to my job and just lived to work.
Mhm.
I would be like, why did I do all that for the company?
Yeah.
I'm good. So that's all that I would hopefully share with the listeners, is just make sure you got a good work-life balance. And if things like this happen, it doesn't feel like, like you got shorted, like you gave up a piece of your life for your company, because you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Awesome. So yeah, thank you to Sister T for joining us this evening. Great conversation. If you missed any of it, guess what? You can go back on our page and catch the rest. I'll be putting up snippets of the interview tomorrow or the next day. But thank you so much, Sister T, for joining us. Don't forget to follow her on social media. We're here every Thursday at 6 p.m. Come back to FICA with us.
Love y'all.